There's two guys, all right, and here's a story about how this all went down. Imagine two guys guarding an eyeball. Okay, and the eyeball was like, I am powerful even though I am not incarnate except for this giant eyeball. I will tell you what to do. And the two dudes were like, sounds good to us. And I was like, well, after they stood guard on that eyeball, and then they're like, why are we even standing guard on this eyeball? It can't do anything to us. And the eyeball said, wrong, I can control your thoughts. And like, I can put thoughts in your head. And I'm like, intrusive thoughts? Okay, it was me. Okay, spoiler alert, it was me. Okay, and my pal Jokkmokk. Okay, Jokkmokk and me were guarding this giant eyeball, and it was like some kind of thing that we were supposed to guard because it was going to be incarnated as this giant monster and do the will and bidding of my master. And then it was, pretty typical stuff, really. And this eyeball kept trying to like goad us into doing things. And I must have had that metal plate in my head for that reason because the thoughts kind of just bounced off of it and stuck to it. I was the rubber and it was the glue, okay? And whatever it thought, okay, bounced off of me and stuck to it. So then it started getting like a complex, some kind of inferiority complex. And I was like, you're trying to give me an inferiority complex? I already have one, dude. Like, there's not room for more in there. Okay, the ever expansive mind has room for a million things, but except for two inferiority comply, it doesn't need that. Okay, so the point is, this thing tried to control my thoughts, and it wasn't working very good. So then it controlled the Jokkmokk's thoughts, and Jokkmokk kind of started being menacing towards me. And it's tough when a friendship ends. It's tough when a friendship ends because, you've been through so much together. And then next thing you know, they're chirping you from their guard station across the way, okay? Because I was on the north side and Jokkmokk was on the south side, okay? And Jokkmokk always got the south facing because he liked it hot, whereas I like it cool, okay? I like it cool because my plate gets too hot otherwise. And Jokkmokk, anyway, was starting to send me notes via birds about like how it was unfair. At first, it was unfair work advantages, and I was like, "What are you talking about? You get to stand where you get to stand. I get to stand where I get to stand." I was like, "Don't let the eyeball." I knew what was happening. Okay, that eyeball was trying to come between us, and the eyeball in the fortress was trying to come between us. And I was like, "Come on, man, it's just an eyeball." Okay, if we took a pin and skewered it, all that humerus would come out. That eye juice would come out. Okay, and think about it, Jokkmokk. Eye juice is your favorite kind of juice. So why don't we, okay, start threatening it? And then I thought that just perpetuates the cycle of violence. Sometimes being a henchman to something evil's, it really messes with your moral compass. So there we are, guarding this eyeball. The eyeball was telling Jokkmokk to come bonk me on the head. And I was like, Jokkmokk, let's turn the tables on this eyeball, okay, and then get it maybe to start doing what we want, okay? I said, eyeball, what is it do you want? Violence wasn't the answer. We were just going to get eye juice all over ourselves. Jokkmokk would probably drink it without boiling it first, and he gets sick. So I'm always looking out for Jokkmokk. Okay. It's tough when you lose a friend. It's tough. We worked through so much together, and I realized that you are like the body is my temple, and my thoughts must be clean, and you're just a degenerate. And I don't know what to say to that. I mean, yes. I mean, the body is my temple too. It's just my temple needs some work, needs some renos. I'd like to have an open kitchen in my temple and a staircase that doesn't face the doorway, but instead is perpendicular to the doorway to give me more of an open feeling as I'm walking into my domicile. Because I don't like having my closet right here as it were, and then not as it were, it is right here, and then my stairs just directly ahead, And then that makes you feel like that. That makes you feel like this. Okay? Like you're squeezing in. We could have done that together, you and me. We could have come up with some reno ideas. Probably. But I guess that's not going to happen now. Jokkmokk went off with the eyeball into the tower, and I never saw him again. After I asked him what it wanted, it took Jokkmokk away and ran away into the tower. I stayed for several days because that was still my job to guard the tower. But after a bright flash late at night, Jokkmokk emerged with the eyeball for a head. And there was a second floating eyeball for me. They were going to turn me into arms and legs for a walking eyeball. And I don't know if Jokkmokk was still in there or not. He had a boner, so I'm like, he's probably still in there. But they were menacing towards me, so I tried to run. I held up my sword and skewered the eyeball, the second one, and the eye juice came out all over. Do you want Jokkmokk a hug? And Jokkmokk said, I am no longer Jokkmokk, I am eyeball. I said, what do you want, eyeball? A hug? Now, there are some things more powerful than your mind, okay? Your mind is a powerful lotus flower, but also there are things that are vast and unknowable that make your mind look like a little gumdrop, okay? I took a big risk. It could have been one of those situations. It looks like teeth. Right now, it looks like an aura of teeth around me. It looks like an aura of zipper teeth. Not teeth like a wolf, but like zipper. Like there's a zipper aura of white zipper teeth around me. I don't know what that means. So anyway, I gave Eyeball a hug. And I don't know. I guess it was because I was covered in the eye juice. I was immune to its services, to its attempts to seduce me to the dark side of incarnation. Use my body as a vessel. I was like, no thanks. I don't want that, you know? It's tough when you lose a friend. But I mean, what can you do? You can't afford to be sentimental about it. What's that going to do? So I abandoned my post. That's where they sent me to fight that dragon, and it ate me, and then it crapped me out here. I wonder how Jokkmokk is doing with that eyeball on his head. It reminds me a lot of jellyfish, like five-dimensional jellyfish, always floating around, fucking shit up. So that's the story of Jokkmokk and the eyeball.